Oh man, I finally did it, guys. I didn't want to do it. I really didn't want to do it. I've been putting it off, and just like it's been getting worse and worse. It's like a band-aid, one motion, right off, right? Just get it done. Finally bit the bullet on it and reorganized our Pokemon PC. It took hours moving these guys around, recategorizing our pages and stuff. So the big problem on the Pixelmon server here is I keep getting more and more legendaries, and I don't throw those away ever, right? So they need more and more space in our PC. And originally, I only gave them like 3 pages or so. And those filled up pretty quick, and then they've just been going sporadically in our PC. Now, we pretty much got them all on one page. Like, we've given each Pokemon their own page, pretty much. Some of them I've had to combine together, though. Like Latios and Latios I put together. We got our 3 cheaters here together. Because there's not enough pages in our PC to like give everybody their own page, but I did like the best I could here. And some of these, like these guys, need to be off this page, but I have nowhere else to put them, so I might just end up deleting them. We got our Sky Cheaters, Thundurus, Landorus, and Tornadus. So yeah, this will give you an idea of just how many legendaries we have as well. I've been catching so many Hoopas, trying to get an enormous one. Still no enormous. 1 in 20 chance. Yeah, it's not working out. Got lots of Lele's. This page, it's a mess. I gotta remove some of these Pokemon. So whenever I breed Pokemon and they're not ginormous, but they're like perfect, like these guys have perfect stats. Mimikyu, we want everything but special attack on. We check this guy out. Everything but special attack. So this is like a perfect Pokemon, but it's not ginormous, so I don't need it. I've been saving these to sell to other people on the server for cheap, like if they want them. Otherwise, I'm just going to delete them, which I might end up doing because nobody seems to want to buy them. I got lots of Marshadows. And yeah, now we go on to our Dittos. These are like our garbage Dittos that have no value because they have no perfect stats. So those I'll probably just give away to people for free and get them out of our PC so we'll have more space. These are all our shinies. We got some cool ones too. I don't think I've shown a few of these guys. Particularly, these two are my favorite. This guy looks awesome. It's like it's wearing a luxurious bathrobe or something, black and red. Ooh, very fancy. We got our Sandy Gas. Look at this guy. One of my favorite Pokemon, and we got the shiny for it. And Panpour, super rare Pokemon, and we got the shiny for that one, so that was cool. Okay, anyway, let's move on. We got a lot of stuff to see here. So we got about 3 pages of shinies, lots of room on this one for more. These guys shouldn't be there. I gotta put them in their place. These are our good Dittos. These ones have like perfect stats in some areas, or they're useful in some way that I'll use them. Then our enormous legendaries page. We've gotten a few more guys. Been getting pretty lucky recently with them, so let's get their pictures and add them to our wall. We got Marshadow recently, enormous. Alright, Victini spawned on top of the mountain, and I went and snagged them. We got an enormous Heatran finally. You might notice, like in our PC, when we were scrolling through there, I had like 20 of them or so. So it took a lot of attempts for some of these guys. Enormous Landorus, super happy to get that one. That's a rare spawn-ish. And one more here that's not on the page. Tapu Fini, also pretty rare Pokemon. Oh yeah. Alright, get that picture. Add them to our wall. Our enormous legendary wall is filling up pretty good here. Alright, good stuff. So I think with that we have 25 enormous legendaries, which is, I believe, over half now of all the legendaries. So we're making good progress there, little by little. And some of our legendaries are still scattered throughout the PC if I'm using them for something else, like the OU Draft League. These are some of our picks for them, so I got them scattered there, the good ones. We've got quite a few Ultra Beasts at this point. I made 2 pages for them. Only about 2 of them are really good, though, that we got from the Ditto eggs. Then over here, hidden abilities, several pages for those guys. This is like an empty page. These are the ones I use for breeding at the moment. And then starting at page 96 and beyond, these are ginormous Pokemon, like with perfect IVs. We just need to put the moves on and train them up and stuff. Then we got our utility Pokemon. So these are the guys I use the most, mostly for sinking natures with all our Mews here, and our catching Pokemon and stuff go on this page. Then more ginormous ones with perfect everything. I just need to get the moves on or whatever. And it's still a little messy. Box 4 to 9 here is just like whatever random stuff I got. And then beyond that is our actual collection. And you can see there's a lot of empty spaces still. Even though I've been breeding Pokemon for ages, it takes a long time. But it goes up to, I think, like 800 and something. And then it starts over at the legendaries. So, like, every page in our PC is being used at this point. Anyways, organizing isn't super exciting, but it is a big part of the Pixelmon experience, so I thought I'd show you where we're at with that. But now I want to do a spotlight on our friend Weavile here. I think we got this guy ready last episode, and some of you were pretty excited to see him in action, to see the beat up, because I was supposed to put Icicle Crash on him, and now I can't because it's an egg move, so I went for beat up instead, which, if you have a full party of like 6 Pokemon that aren't fainted, it'll hit 6 times, I believe. And then we gave him a King's Rock, this item here, that has a 10% chance of flinching your opponents per hit. So with 6 hits at 10%, that's like over a 40% chance of flinching if we use beat up.
He's probably weak to stuff.
If I'm remembering correctly, he's like, I think he's like quad weak to like some stupid thing like rock.
Oh, he lived. Oh, but he flinched. Oh, snappers. Crit hit on the pursuit. This guy could be a problem.
Stay up on the rise.
Oh. Does over half. Almost killed again. Holy. Oh, but he flinched again. Oh, dear.
Oh, God. You're using a Jirachi set.
I'm out.
I don't like you so much.
Oh, snap. No, it's not Jirachi. Something better.
What is it, Togekiss?
Weavile. So this guy's pretty fun. He's pretty trolly. He's like a no skill, just spam beat up until he dies sort of guy. But from what I could tell, I've used him in a few battles, and he almost always gets at least 1 kill. A lot of times 2 or 3. So he's not bad. He's super strong, so a lot of times he can just one-shot something with the beat up. But if not, if it takes 2 hits, if they get flinched on the first hit, they're dead the second, right? So he's pretty good. But not in like the top competitive OU league, because almost everybody's going to run Magearna in that, and that hard counters Weavile. Or they're going to have things like T-Tar, Tyranitar, or Greninja, or all the Tapus pretty much counter Weavile because they're Fairy type, which resists Dark type. So there's a few counters, but things like Ferrothorn don't counter it, apparently. The beat up, even though it hits 6 times, it's not affected by Iron Barbs on Ferrothorn, which would normally damage this guy. So I thought that was kind of interesting. Another fun Pokemon, super trolly one I've been playing around with was Sawsbuck. We got a jolly, ginormous Sawsbuck with Secret Power, an attack whose additional effects depend on where it was used. So this Pokemon, he's a normal type, so Secret Power is a 70 power move. That's going to be a stab move, so extra damage, because he's normal type. Sawsbuck also has Serene Grace, boosts the likelihood of additional effects occurring. So the way this works, if you have this guy on ice, it's like weird how it works in Pixelmon. If he's standing on ice and he uses Secret Power, it'll do the 70 power damaging move, but it also has a 30% chance of freezing your opponents if he's standing on ice. Combined with Serene Grace, that should bring it up to 60% chance of freezing. So we put a scarf on this guy to make him real fast, so he'll hit first and then freeze the opponent.
Just give me a call.
Time for the Sawsbuck.
Oh, sweet Jesus Almighty. No!
Get wrecked. Never saw it coming.
I'm actually mad.
Aw,
Thank
dang it.
you. I click Sludge Wave, but Fire Blast unthaws me no matter what.
Right.
Because it's Fire
I
Blast.
didn't think of that.
Yeah, Fire Blast, Flame Burst. Not Flamethrower for some reason. Inferno. Overheat. I'll thaw you, but not Flamethrower.
Yeah, so Sawsbuck is pretty fun as well. It's a trolley Pokemon, similar to Weavile, but not as good. I've used him in a few battles as well, and a lot of times he doesn't even get a kill. Because his stats are so terrible. If the freeze doesn't happen, he usually just dies. If it does happen, there are ways around being frozen, like you can use a fire move like you saw there to thaw out, or even Scald will thaw you out. And yeah, it's just not super reliable, right? Weavile, like even if the flinch doesn't happen, he can almost kill somebody, and that's like the worst case scenario. So that's why he's really good. But anyways, I thought we would do a little bit of a base expansion day. We still have lots of Pokemon left to breed, and some of our Pokemon are super valuable to us, like this Ditto. As soon as he's done with this breeding project, I'm trying to breed up a Bronzor right now. This is our best Ditto. He's like enormous with perfect attack and defense. As soon as he's done here, we're going to use him in another project and another one and another one. Like he's going to be on the clock 24/7. But as it is right now, I've improved the breeding environment like as much as I can here, and it still says like at best it's more attracted, which means it's going to take an hour and 15 minutes to produce an egg. If you get everything perfect for these guys, you can get down to 37 minutes per egg, so that's twice as quick. But the problem is we can't improve it anymore because this is only a 9x9 breeding area. To go beyond that, we need a bigger breeding area. And the only way to do that is with ranch upgrades. I have finally collected enough of these things where we can fully upgrade a ranch block. These are super rare. You get them off of bosses. And the whole time playing on the server here, I think I've bought 3 or 4 off of people. And now I finally just have 13. So, yeah, they're kind of tricky to get. Well, let's try this out. We're going to make a big ranch breeding area at the end of our base here with these. And then when we put the Ditto in here, we'll be able to get them up to max speed breeding. But apparently the way these work, you put them in... You see the highlight on the ground? Oh, did it show up? I saw it for a second there. Can we get it to show up again? Yeah, you see that little highlight? It's like a 9x9 area it shows on the ground, but if we add these, each one will expand it by 1 per direction. Oh, and we choose. Okay, so let's go plus X. So you saw it just expanded that way. Let's add another one. We'll go plus X. Plus X. So now I think that's maxed out on the X. We'll go oh yeah, now it's not an option even. So we go minus X, minus X, minus X. So that's going this way. We'll do minus Z. So I think that's going that way. And then plus Z. Alright, so that brings it up to a 15 by 15 area. So that's almost, I think that's over 3 times the size of one of these 9x9s. Alright, good stuff. So we got our area mostly set up here. We just need to place down the blocks for the breeding. So we could use fences to maximize the Ditto breeding, but we would need 70 of them. The alternative, the better alternative, is cakes. If we use cakes, we only need 47, so they're quite a bit better. But the only problem is cakes are quite the pain to make. The way you do it is you have to get these milk tank Pokemon in ranchers. I only have 2 of them. And then every so often you're allowed to milk them. And that's the only way to get milk in Pixelmon. So it's a little weird like that. Anyways, you use that milk and then you can make some cakes. Oh man, okay, I thought we had a decent amount of milk there saved up. No, we only were able to make 8 cakes out of that and we need 47. So it's gonna take some doing. Everybody on the server has like dreamed of somebody selling cakes, like setting up a cake shop, and nobody has been willing to do it, to put in the work. So we're still all making our own cakes, unfortunately. I got a couple things to show you in town here, so we'll take the telepad. Not this, not the mess. This doesn't exist. Upstairs in our house here, though, we got a new box. This is the Hogs VIP gift box number 4. So Tilted gives us one of these every month, which is super cool. And this one, I think, is for July. She gave us a bunch of cooked apricorns, which you need for making Pokeballs. And I have a hard time getting enough red ones, and she has given us quite a few. So I'm happy about that. That's a great gift. We've also had some new people added to the server recently. It's Sock, for example, was in our video with the Nido King earlier. You heard his voice. Zobi is another new guy. And for the longest time, this was just a dirt path outside our house. Zobi has actually built us a bridge. Super fancy bridge now, which is super cool. I like it. And we got one more thing to check out at Tilted's amazing shop. A while ago, she allowed us to expand downstairs, so we moved our hidden ability shop downstairs over here. Haven't made a lot of sales, honestly, with this shop, but we've done a few. We've done all right. We've probably made like 4 or 5 stacks of rare candies from this, which is decent. But this is the new expansion I've been trying out. We're going to be selling Pokemon now. Remember all these Pokemon I'm trying to get rid of? These perfect ones that aren't ginormous? We're selling them here. I'm going to try unload them. If I can't sell them here, I'm just going to delete them probably. But you can see these are Cherish Balls. I'll show you how this works. Or you craft Cherish Balls into Poke Gifts, and then you can place these in the world like that. And then you can put a Pokemon inside. You have to throw them out, and then right-click. And then it goes in that ball, and anybody on the server is allowed to grab that, basically, by right-clicking it. If you're the one that does it, it doesn't let you grab it, I guess. Unless you break it. Normally, you can just right-click them, though, like if you're not the owner. So people can right-click the Pokemon here to get it, and then they just either give me an IOU for the cost. So Jason owes us 120k, for example. He bought quite a few. All right, everybody. Well, I have a long battle to show you at the end of the episode here, so we should start wrapping up now. It's going to be an OU Draft League battle. Some of you have been wondering what's going on with that. We've done 3 games versus Jason. We won all 3 of those. We've done 1 game versus Sten. So we've won 4 games out so far. And now, today, I'm going to show you our 5th game we played versus Nebris. Our very first one versus Nebris. And Nebris has a very good team. So these are his 10 potential picks. And I was expecting him to bring Magearna, Coco, Heatran, Tangrowth, Manaphy, and I was figuring probably Celesteela. That's not what he brought, though. So I'll let you guys check out this battle. This is like a super try-hard battle, by the way. Like a lot of the battles you see in the episodes are fun battles. This one we're like both trying really hard to win. And we both have very good teams, so it was pretty fun. Anyways, here's how it turned out. Hope you enjoy it. Alright, so I didn't get any game sounds recorded for this battle, so I'm going to do my best to give you voiceover commentary. We can see Nebris, he's got Latios, Magearna, Celesteela, Manaphy, Tapu Koko, and Zapdos. I'm trying to figure out what to lead with here. I go with the Thundurus because Nebris has no ground type in his party, so I can just start with Thundurus, Volt Switch out as I please. This is a choice specs Thundurus, which means he does a 1.5 damage with the special attack. And Nebris led with Coco, which I expected. He used U-turn there, so we know he doesn't have Volt Switch himself. So he switches out. He's faster than me. And then I Volt Switch out, do some damage to Magearna. I see it does very little damage, so I know it's Assault Vest Magearna. And then I go into our Landorus, who can Earthquake Magearna to kill it, but I know he's not going to stay in, so I U-turn. He goes to Celesteela, which is a great counter to Landorus. And then I just go right back into our Thundurus, because Celesteela is weak to electric attacks. And I can just Volt Switch here, see what he brings in instead. Surprisingly, he doesn't go back to Magearna. Magearna tanked that pretty well. He goes to Zapdos, sacrifices half its health, and Zapdos is pretty slow, so we're free to like go to whatever we want here pretty much. And I decide to go to Diancie. Figure he's going to switch again, probably to Magearna or something, so I go for the Stealth Rocks just to get those up, because, you know, Nebris, he likes to switch a lot in the battles. And he does go to Magearna. Alright, so we just Stealth Rocks, so those will do damage every turn he switches somebody in. And then I go back to Landorus, because that worked last time, and yeah, biggest mistake of the game right there. He has Ice Beam. I was really expecting him to use a Steel move there to kill Diancie, and to do chip on something else if it came in, but he went straight for the Ice Beam and got a free kill on our Landorus, which was a big deal. So I just go Thunderous Volt Switch out again. I don't really have anything good for Magearna. Drulgus, or Amoonguss, had a red card on it, so when Magearna attacked it, this is like my best counter to Magearna. It causes one of his Pokemon to come out at random, and unfortunately we got Tapu Koko with Electric Terrain, which means I can't Spore him, I can't put him to sleep. So that was a bit unlucky. He just U-turns out. Lots of U-turns and Volt Switches going on here. And he comes out to Latios. This battle's actually happening a lot faster than I can talk. I'm trying here. Alright, Latios. For some reason, I thought I was going to go first there. I didn't think about it. Latios is actually faster than Thundurus. That was a huge misplay as well. So I just lost my Thundurus in a stupid way. The Volt Switch wouldn't even have done much damage. Again, we just do tiny little bits of chip damage to Magearna. It's a big problem for us. He goes to Celesteela. We used Earth Power. It has Levitate, so that doesn't do anything. And I don't have anything really for Celesteela because he killed our Thundurus. So I go just to our wall. His wall versus our wall sort of thing. I use Clear Smog here, expecting him to go into Tapu Koko, which I think would have been his best play, but he decides to stay in. So I just get my Spore off, put him to sleep. Because if he went to Koko and I used Spore, I would have lost my turn, basically. Go back to Lele. I think Zapdos is slower than our Lele, so I can kind of do whatever I want here. I think this is Choice Specs Lele, and I decide to go for the Thunder move, expecting Magearna to come out afterwards. And I thought maybe I would be able to kill it with that, but I figured I might not be able to, so I switch out. And I think that was a good switch to Drulgus. We'll be able to recover a little bit of HP doing that. And then I go to our Mew, which takes the Ice Beam pretty well. Which gives me an opportunity to Sword Stance to set up on him. Because I think he's got Flirt Cannon, a Steel move, Thunderbolt. Nothing really that gets Mewtwo bad. Yeah, he's got Iron Head. So I go for the Drain Punch. Kill the Magearna, finally! That thing was a big pain. Then Koko comes in. I can't remember. I think I was afraid of getting U-turned here, which would have been super effective versus our Psychic type. So I go to Diancie, thinking this is going to be faster than whatever he brings in. Which it is. Problem is, this guy like totally walls Diancie, I realize, and it's like, uh-oh, that was a misplay on my part again. I should have just stayed in with the Mew. So I go back to it. And unfortunately, Mew is not great against Latios either. We don't really have anything for Latios, except for the Diancie, but then he'll just switch to Celesteela if we go to it. So I'm sort of forced here to just do whatever I can with our Mew. We live the Shadow Ball, and do surprisingly more damage than I was expecting to it, so that I was pretty happy with that. But then he kills our Mew. I decide to try hit him with Diancie again, expecting him to go to Celesteela here, because that's like his hard counter. But at this point, his Celesteela is taking damage from Stealth Rocks and chip damage, and on the switch in here, he takes quite a bit as well, so he's going to die this turn. If we could have removed that earlier, like, this would have gone so much smoother for us. That wall was a big problem. So he goes back to Koko. I'm expecting him to U-turn. And I'm just going to hit whatever he brings in. And it is Manaphy. So Thunderous was our big counter to Manaphy. So at this point, I was a little bit scared, but thankfully Diance's faster. So I figure we might actually win at this point. But no, he has a Choice Scarf on his Manaphy, not Tail Glow. And luckily we lived that hit, but I really needed the health on this Diance to win. Goes back to Latios. So both of these guys have 110 base speed, so it should be a speed tie. So I'm thinking, okay, 50-50 chance of winning here. Go for the Moonblast to kill it. And he kills us. I found out later he actually had a Choice Scarf on that, so it wasn't a 50-50. He just won. Alright, we go to our Lele. It's at full health. It can tank a hit from something. And like this is the only way we're getting rid of the Latios because it's quicker. And then Coco comes back in, and like I'm kind of realizing we probably can't take a hit from this guy. And our Drillgus might be able to take a hit, but it's like a wall. It doesn't really do damage. Recovers a little HP there from the regen. What I should have done here is went to our Lele and just sacked that off. And then tried to kill him with Clear Smog. I did the damage calculator, and it would have done 40 to 45% or something, so it would have killed this Coco probably if he was like choice something, but he wasn't. He was... Whew, it's hard to talk that fast. I was trying to do that whole battle without pausing. It's really difficult with all the cuts and stuff taking place. But what I was trying to say there is I should have sacked the Lele and tried to kill him with Clear Smog instead, because it would have been enough damage. And assuming he was Choice Scarfed, I would have won. He wasn't, though. He was Shucka Berried, so it didn't matter what I did. He would have won regardless, but I still misplayed at the very end there, too. But overall, very good battle. I enjoyed that one. I thought it was pretty close, and yeah, pretty cool. Hope you guys enjoyed it.